Hello everyone, today we are going to conclude what we have learned from the assignment. We have interviewed 3 persons who come from Orange Business Service, HP, and Prest. And we are going to introduce the key learning points we have found to see what's the difference on communication between different organizations.
The first interviewee is Annie Zhang. She is HR Director of Orange Business Service in North Asia area. Annie has been in Orange since 2010, and she also role in HR Director in IBM before she joined Orange. Annie said in-person meeting and email is not the common way to communicate within the organization. Orange has its internal communication platform called Orange Plaza. The function of that platform is similar with Facebook. The employees can create a group for a project. That makes the communication easier, and also it is more effective than the traditional way. The company's own platform is not only confined to the communication when working, it also helps employees to make connection and develop their networking.
Jacqueline Lung founded Press News in spring 2016 because she saw the need for a news outlet that's tailored to millennials. The company now has 12 employees and has been accepted into a female-only startup accelerator in Kitchener. Unlike Orange Business Service and HP, Press is a Canadian company that only targets Canadians. They're an email newsletter that features short conversational articles. Jacqueline assigns the articles to remote writers via WhatsApp every Sunday through Thursday night in preparation for weekday mornings. If Press subscribers want to give feedback, they can email Jacqueline. I found it surprising that Jacqueline, the founder of an internet company, hopes to incorporate in-person meetings into Press corporate culture. She values hearing people's voices and seeing their facial expressions because this helps with communication. Orange Business Service has a similar desire for in-person communication. Jacqueline hopes that once the company gets an office, they can incorporate in-person meetings. In terms of corporate communications, Jacqueline hopes to implement market research strategies to find out who Press customers are. She initially targeted students, but she now suspects that it's actually older millennials who are sharing the newsletter. Speaking of which, she finds that word of mouth is a better marketing strategy for Press than social media ads. Jacqueline brands herself as a female entrepreneur on LinkedIn because it helps her gain support from female entrepreneur clubs and organizations.
The third interview done for the research assignment was with Heather Kent, Director of Sales and Marketing within the Americas for HP. Heather, a UTM graduate, started out in sales with HP as a position after university almost 20 years ago, and eventually worked her way up to the position in which she is in now. As someone in a large worldwide organization such as HP, the main objective that we as a group wanted to uncover was the way in which Heather can communicate with people all over the world, and what the best practices were to do so. When asked about communicating within her organization and having to communicate with colleagues that work across the world and in different time zones, Heather stressed the importance of using communication programs such as Skype and direct messaging on Skype, and mentioned that using communication platforms such as that was the most efficient way of communicating, as opposed to a conference call or other theoretical ways in which an organization can communicate. Heather explained that the reason why this is so effective is that it is not as daunting and time-consuming as having to email one another. This shows that even the most established and corporate-level types of organizations use more juvenile ways of communicating, such as through direct messages, a way of communicating that the majority of individuals use on a daily basis.
In conclusion, there were a lot of learning points gathered through the interviews conducted with Prest, Orange Business Service, and HP. Some were common, like the email communication shared by all, and others uncommon, like the language barriers HP occasionally faced. Seeing how these companies practice communication and researching theoretical perspectives opened our eyes to the similarities and differences. It was easy to realize the positive impact of combining the two into the way the companies communicate. As we could see from the diversity of companies, a lot of the key learning points and theoretical perspectives gathered can be applied to various places and job positions. So we hope to utilize the knowledge learned from this assignment and apply it in our futures.
To summarize, our objective was to find out how companies are communicating today within their organization and how effective it was. It was interesting to see the different responses from each interview, especially because they came from small to large-sized companies. We saw how technology has changed the way these executives communicated. It's amazing how Annie said the company Orange has their own internal network called Orange Plaza. It really shows their efforts to unify the employees and the company. And we also saw that Skype, a popular communication app, is strongly utilized in a professional setting by Heather. And Jacqueline from Press still believes in face-to-face communication and word of mouth. This worked great for her small startup. Overall, these interviews demonstrated that contemporary and traditional methods of communicating are both valuable ways to communicate within an organization. It definitely shows how apps and face-to-face interactions are applied efficiently in different size companies.